Hi there. So I wanted to put together a quick video on my experience with the Neue chair and the new Secretlab Titan Evo 2022 chairs. I won't talk about unboxing, adjustability, or anything like that. There's plenty of resources out there for that kind of thing. But I have both the XL and the regular in my possession, so here are some comparison pics. The goal is to explain my experience with trying these chairs in hopes that you won't make the same mistakes I made. I had a hard time trying to find my specific situation, so perhaps it's not a common setup with my computer and desk. I'm about 6 feet tall, I weigh about 215 pounds, and that is one of the equations that is missing in a lot of these review sites or is hard to find, the height and weight factor. I had this blue chair for many years, which I got as a freebie when the company I was working for was relocating. It was long in the tooth, and I had to keep using duct tape on the arms because they were falling apart. Also, one caster broke off, and if I shifted a certain direction, it would make this loud crack noise that you could feel. Since I live in an apartment, that was likely transmitting that sound through the floor to my landlady downstairs. I've known I needed a new chair for quite a while, so using the measurements from that old chair, I was armed with some information. But not having shopped for a chair, this is only a starting point due to the various styles out there, and it seemed it would be a bit of a crapshoot. Chair sizing appears to be a bit subjective, like if one person has long legs, that chair would not work with someone with short legs, yet they could be both the same height. In my investigation, I narrowed it down to Herman Miller Aeron, the Herman Miller Embody, and the Steelkit Jester, all of which would break the friggin' bank. They also looked at Secretlab's Titan 2020 series and the Neue chair. I leaned towards the Neue and Titan mainly due to cost. They're both made by Secretlab. The others were too expensive for my taste. Well, in the end, I spent about the cost of one of those expensive chairs anyways. But this is where you benefit. I was very interested in the mesh design as it had a lot of breathability, thus lean more towards the Neue chair. A concern with the Secretlab 2020 soft weave chair came up, which was another one I was really interested in. It had a history of static electricity. I'm very prone to static electricity, hence shying away from that. So one thing I should point out is that in my investigation, don't go for just any gaming chair. Most of them are manufactured in China and then customized for the reseller. I've heard that they're not very comfortable, and a lot of people wish they had never bought them in the first place. Although I'm not rich by any means, I am fortunate that I can afford to go down the path that I did. But with my luck, my debts will pile up. Oh well, I digress. So after much investigation, I bought the Neue chair first, mainly because of the innovative adjustment, which was pretty rad. I sort of ignored some of the size recommendations because of the subjectivity involved. I felt I could make this work. Wrong. The chair took about a week to arrive, despite the issues with shipping that we were all hearing about. I received it in mid-June 2021. It was definitely more comfortable than my old beater. Putting it together was easy with their instructions. But after using it for a bit, it was clear that it was a tad too small. It is a great chair, but I would need a slightly bigger version of it. And I thought I had dialed it in after a week or so of using it, and I thought it would force me to stop slouching. Wrong. I still slouched. In fact, it got to a point that when I got out of the chair, I felt some pain in the lower left side of my back, probably due to an off-angle lean or something. Someone equated this to a kidney punch type of pain. I had this issue with this chair as well as my easy chair. Yeah, I gotta replace that as well. I have no issues when sleeping or using chairs at work, so not likely a health issue. After a month or two of using the Neue chair, Secretlab released their 2022 version of the Titan called Evo. I spent several months or so here and there looking for a static electricity issue, and nothing came up that I could find. So I finally decided to pull the trigger on the XL. This came really quick despite the shipping issues we've heard about. Echo, 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 echo. Took about a week. I picked the XL because at 6 feet, with the recommended height starting at about 5'11", and the regular topping off at 6'2", I was within that range. Plus, at 215 pounds rather, and never knowing if I would gain weight, or unless I got off my duff and got some exercise, the XL was more than enough to support potential weight gain. So it made more sense to get the XL. Wrong. So the Secretlab Evo 2022 was easy to put together, just as easy as the New Age chair. Maybe a little bit more complicated, but not by much. Purchasing any product online is a gamble, no matter how you slice it, especially if the fit is a concern. I bought a pair of slippers online and immediately felt like I made a mistake with them. But after they were broken in for a little bit, they seemed to be pretty great. Well, when I sat in the Secretlab Evo XL 2022, I immediately felt I made a mistake. It was extremely firm, which was more than I expected. Well, kinda wrong. After a couple of hours, I actually broke in some, with some dialing in over a few days, and was able to get a decent fit, and no slouching. I say decent fit because it was clear that although it was comfortable, it was a tad too big. The lowest setting of the chair was actually good for me, but I couldn't go lower, and this limited dialing it in much further. I have this sliding keyboard mouse tray at my desk, and the angle of the chair's arms don't seem to work very well with that, as the wrist ends up pointing upwards, and I have to force my hand down to reach the mouse. So I place a block of wood under the mouse pad to help raise the mouse, and I twist the chair's arm to the right and place my elbow at the back of that to hold my arm up. This keeps my wrist pretty straight. It's not perfect, but it works very well. I had to do this for both the regular and the XL of the Secretlab chair. I spent a lot of time investigating computer desks, and this was the closest I could get for the setup I wanted. So given the height of the tray is lower than the chair arms, I am considering raising my desk with leg extensions. This would be true for both the XL and the regular. After a week of using the XL, I contacted Secretlab chat, who indicated they submitted a ticket for assistance with sending it back. And I got a response in 2 business days. That's pretty quick. Given that it was Black Friday / Cyber Monday weekend, I didn't expect an answer right away. And speaking of Black Friday, the regular chair was $30 off. I decided to go ahead and get it since I didn't know how long Secretlab support would get back to me and if they would offer me anything. I should mention that Secretlab support was pretty top-notch throughout all of this. They really showed that they cared. I suspect the second purchase seemed to have helped. Ba-dum-bum. Anyway, initially the regular felt like a bad fit, much like the XL. However, after a week of using it, I'm kind of on the fence about the fit versus the XL. I noticed a bit of slouching on the regular, which was a bit surprising. I expected that it would force a more correct posture like the XL did. One thing I realized is that the armrest post on the XL was almost completely out. So I moved them in about halfway, as I felt the arms were a little too far out. The regular is all the way out, so after the day of the arm post being halfway in, I moved them all the way in. It didn't seem to make that much of a difference halfway in or all the way in, but it is better than all the way out. So after a couple of days, I gave the regular a chance on the armrest with it all the way out, and then another couple of days, maybe less, with them all the way in. I also dialed in as close as possible to match the XL. So over the last several days, I went back and forth between the 2 different sizes, with some little tweaks here and there, with some nuanced differences. Since they are both set at comfortable settings at this point, it was really hard to make a decision. But in the end, I realized that when I sit in the XL, I have to adjust myself a little bit. Whereas in the regular, I could just sit in with minimal adjusting. One funny thing I noticed with the XL is that it felt almost like a throne. I feel so kingly, knave. Although I was edging towards sending back the regular, I think it'll be a better fit overall over time. With my luck, I'll regret that decision. In fact, if nothing else comes from this video, make note that you need to dial in any chair, even if it doesn't immediately feel right. So don't go by your very first impression. I should point out that this video is an outlier to the videos I have on my channel. 95% of my content are of concerts I have been to. Thus, I don't do the chair review thing. I have no interest in obtaining subscribers to make money or even gain numbers. I only put up constant videos for fun and posterity. If you want to subscribe, feel free, but you're not going to see a lot of technical content from me, just mainly music videos, or I should say concert videos. But I hope this video has been helpful to you in deciding whether to purchase the Neue or one of the Secretlab Evo 2022.